Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser and we are modelling for advantage. So unboxing another of Wave 2 expansions for World of Tanks, the miniatures game. So these are repeats of the models that we received in the starter set, but with new upgrades and abilities. So in each of these packs we get five vehicles. We get 5 upgrade cards, a vehicle, and a unit card. We also get a little bit of information from these about how you get some sort of bonus in the World of Tanks miniatures games. And for those of you that play that game, really good value, I guess. So, pop this stuff to one side. So this model is the standard late war Panzer IV or Panzer IVH in this game model that you can buy throughout Battlefront's ranges. It even comes in their Hit the Beach Flames or War starter set. It's a cracking little model. It's pre-built, pre-assembled with the skirts, but it is built in its most basic arrangement. There's no external machine guns, there's no open cupola, there's no additional stowage. There's extra bits on that sprue and other sprues that you could customize this model with, which in this particular version it's not. But if you're looking to pad out your forces or you just want to get straight on the table, this is built and primed. We have run a test on these to see if they paint up, and they do paint up quite well. Actually, they take the paint straight over the top like any primer. I'll put a link into what's it for you to have a look at. The unit card then, the Panzer IVH, it tells me on this card what it is. Stats are identical to the one from the base game. Firepower 4, survivability 1, mobility 2, initiative 5. 5 crew positions, including a radio operator, and it's got 4 hit points. It also has the medium tank roll. Nothing remarkable there. But the real reason you buy these, of course, is for the upgrades. So what we've got here, we've got 3 German only ones. So let's start. Then we've got a crew position for a single point, which is an armourer whose basic crew, he goes in the gunner slot. +1 firepower while this tank is affected by crew stunned or optics damaged card. That is so astonishingly circumstantial, even for a point. I'd never take that. The problem with cards that are that circumstantial is remembering that they take effect. I mean, if you put them on all of your models, fine, but I think you've just burnt 4 or 5 points by doing that. The chance that it comes up in a game at all is fairly low, but the 1 point does reflect that. Next up, we got Jack of all trades, which is a commander card. This one's double-sided, so he has to come into play revealed. He is basic crew in the commander slot for 4 points, +2 initiative in the shooting turn. At the start of your turn, you may flip this card. Oh! It's +2 initiative in the movement phase on one side, +2 initiative on the shooting phase on the other. That's a really interesting dynamic. Most of the time, you probably want the movement initiative. But at certain points in the game, you may know that your movement initiative is not decisive, and therefore you can flip it over potentially to shooting. Interesting. He's a 4-point commander, but I like that. Whether I'll use it is an entirely different question. Right, next up, we have got a upgrade card unique to the Panzer IV, which is the 10.5cm KWK L28, which is the short-barreled howitzer. I don't know whether there were any Panzer IVHs with the short-barreled howitzer, but again, this is another one of those cards that gives you +2 firepower and allows you to use the HE rule. Still haven't had the chance to play with the HE rule. It's very much about fishing for 6s or fishing for crits. You get extra dice, but you discard all the regular damage. I suppose it's interesting in that it reflects the fact that firing HE at tanks, it's not going to do any real damage, but it might knock out critical systems. Interesting. 3-point upgrade on a 35-point tank. I'm not sure I want to do that, but perhaps if you're really interested in scenario-driven games, you may want the options, because effectively that's a very different tank. Has to be played face-up, presumably because there's no hiding the fact that you've got a different gun. Another unique German card then is a standard consumable for 1 point. Chocolate. Discard to use. Repair a radio damaged or bailed out critical card. So that's exactly like the cola one we had for the British. Not bad for a point. Bailed out is a really crippling critical hit, and it is fairly common. I'd be tempted to take that across my units, to be honest, for only a point. And then lastly, we have a 6-point commander. Not a commander, 6-point character, unique character, Hans Balzer. He's a unique radio operator and has situational awareness for +2 initiative. Really good, +2 initiative, all circumstances. He also has Call for Vengeance. When this tank is destroyed, all other tanks in this platoon gain +1 initiative until the end of next turn. So you potentially get nearly 2 turns out of that. Is it going to be decisive? I'm not sure. But I'd take him at 6 points for the +2 initiative on the right vehicle. Fairly happy with these cards. Quite interesting set. My highlight of the pack is the Jack of all trades. I think it's a really cool mechanic. More Panzer IVs. Love me a Panzer IV. To be honest, it's the mainstay of the German army throughout the war, isn't it? Or certainly from the mid-war onwards. We'll get you some stills of these cards to have a look through. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy what we do, why not show your genuine love and affection for your fellow man by popping over to our merch store on modelingforadvantage.co.uk and buying them a beautiful hat that'll make them look like a right